Hello, church and community. Well, I'm glad to be back with you again for this week's encouraging word. As you can see, and maybe as you're experiencing if you live in Mississippi, it is a beautiful day out. And so just thankful for this weather and hope wherever you are that you're able to enjoy it and rejoice in the Lord for it. I was thinking earlier about two accounts out of the Gospel of Mark. One's at the end of Mark chapter 4 and the other at the beginning of Mark chapter 5. And I think for many of you, these will be two familiar accounts, but they both tell of miracles that Jesus does. The first, Jesus is crossing the Sea of Galilee with his 12 disciples. A violent storm suddenly arises. His disciples, many of them who are very seasoned fishermen, are afraid for their very lives. And so they wake Jesus up, who again is sleeping, and he calms that storm with the power of his word. And part of what Mark is showing us, and of course, what Jesus was showing the disciples, is that he is the Lord of creation. Just like God, his Father, spoke creation into being with the power of his word. So Jesus, the Son of God, calms creation, has control and power over creation, also with the power of his word. And when Jesus gets to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, immediately he's confronted by a man who we discover from the text has many evil spirits that are inhabiting him. He has been living in caves in the mountains amongst tombs. He's living among the dead, not among the living. He's been cutting himself with stones. He's been screaming, driven out of town. The townspeople nearby can't control him. Even when they've tried to bind him before, he breaks the chains apart that he's bound with. He can break through iron shackles just to show that there's something evil and supernatural that's going on within him. Well, Jesus causes the demons that are in this man to enter a nearby herd of pigs. And we read in the text that 2,000 pigs rush down the mountainside and go into the sea. And one of the reasons that Mark is telling this miracle story after the calming of the sea is to show us that not only is Jesus Lord of creation, he's also Lord over the unseen world. He is Lord over all spirits, both angels and demons, because again, he is the Son of God. But something that's maybe a little bit easy to miss, and what I want to hone in on from this text today in Mark chapter 5 is how, even though Jesus had just done this miracle that filled his disciples with wonder and that later would fill the townspeople who heard about it with fear, so much so that they sent him away, even though Jesus has just done that, what we don't want to miss is that Jesus crossed the sea to minister to one man. And because he did so, because he went and he sought that one wandering sheep, that one man that had been bound by the devil in unimaginable ways, that one man that had no hope, that was being controlled by evil spirits, that probably had gotten to the point where he was not even able to cry out to God anymore. Yet Jesus went and sought him and freed him. And even though this amazing miracle had taken place and everybody is standing around in wonder, it's really the individual that Jesus is focused on, and the individual that he loves enough that he wants to free him and give him a new life. And for us, sometimes maybe we are looking for the Lord to do things that we can feel or experience or see. Maybe we're seeking for him to do miracles because, of course, those give God glory, and we are blessed when we see God work in power. But we should never miss that primarily what God has called us to do as followers of Jesus is to do what our master does, and that is to go and to seek and save the lost. And that really just is one individual at a time. And it's the individual that God puts before you. Jesus crossed the sea really just to minister to this one man. And this one man, he wanted to go back with Jesus and his disciples, but Jesus said, chapter 19 of verse 5 in the Gospel of Mark, Go home to your people and report to them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he had mercy on you. You see, Jesus sent this man to go and tell of what had happened to him because of what Jesus had done for him. And so that one life that Jesus touched, no telling how many other lives that he was able to touch. And that's how God desires to use us and how he uses us. If we can just seize the opportunities before us to minister to that one person that God has put in our path, then there's no telling how God will use that one person. And we should love as God loves. See people as God sees them. Don't be so focused on the big picture that we miss what's right in front of us, and that is those who God has placed before us, those who God desires for us to share his word with, to show his love to, and to trust that if we're given the privilege to bless somebody else, there's no telling how far that blessing might extend if we're simply obedient to love the person before us. And so I hope that encourages you today as you encounter people throughout your day. Look at them as Jesus looks at them. Maybe you've been sent to the other side just for that one person. Well, looking forward to seeing you again next week. God bless.